Right, everyone. I just wanted to bring out a little quick video, uh, basically about motorized bike frames. So, what would basically be the best frame for your motorized bike project? Now, originally, when I done a bit of research on sort of mountain bike frames, I would definitely recommend getting to yourself something like a Claude Butler. Claude Butler, a very, very robust sort of bike frame in a way. I'll also have a Cannondale. I mean, like some of these bikes, like which I'm mentioning, they might be a little bit sort of expensive to some people, but to be honest, they're not really that expensive, but they're very, very hard wearing bikes. A lot of professionals, obviously, they use a lot of these sort of frames to go off road, like dirt track, like riding with them, everything. And to be honest, they are worth the money. So, say for instance, like in the past, I've like one of my friends, Jason, who used to live dead opposite me, he gave me like a Carrera, and he bought it cheap from Halfords. And yeah, that basically as he said it, like what happened was is he passed his driving test, and then he said to me, "Look, you can have this bike. I don't need it anymore." So I thought, all right, fair enough. Like, do you know what? I've got my cars anyway, but do you know what? An extra bike, it ain't gonna hurt. So what happened was is I thought I'm gonna start taking his bike like every other day to get to like work, because obviously wasn't no petrol or nothing. So I thought I'll just take his bike and then come back. On the first day that I went to use it, I got halfway to work, yeah, and the crank went, completely went. So the thing is, I could understand if the crank actually went like after a little while, but like he only used the bike say for a couple of times, and then I went to use the bike. I'm not very heavy footed, so when it comes to like pedaling or whatever, the crank completely ruptured and it went, and it didn't just damage the actual like crank itself, but it damaged the frame. So the frame was completely knackered. So like one of my other friends, he gave me another Carrera as well, and the same problem. So imagine, I mean, like I know, for instance, like a lot of people that they're building these motorized bike projects in a way, and I don't really think they understand, like, say, the logic part of it. Do not use a Carrera. They are not great bikes. Like they're very, very badly, cheaply made. And like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Yeah, if you buy anything from Halfords, yeah, it doesn't mean to say it's good just because it's like from a Halfords, from like a car auto shop or whatever. Don't mean to say it's good. Yeah, the quality of the actual stuff, it's not that great. It's really not. I mean, I'll give you an example. Yeah, if you're buying, say, a radio from Halfords, yeah, and then you ask the person to wire it in for you, yeah, this is another thing. These people that are actually wiring it in, they're not qualified, trained electricians, yeah, or that they don't really know too much about cars. Like that, they will just literally like they will charge you for the radio, and then they'll wreck your car. Because one of my other friends, like who lives down my street, he's a mechanic, yeah. One of his friends, basically, he went to go buy a radio from Halfords. It lasted 2 weeks, yeah, and then what happened? His car caught fire because when he went to investigate, yeah, of obviously like where the fire come from, he looked at all the wiring, and all the wiring that had been put onto the back of the actual block onto the radio was all badly done, and it was all done by Halford. So I wouldn't recommend anything to do with Halfords whatsoever, yeah. But when it comes to their bikes, nah, it's not worth it. Like I said, yeah, like for instance, if you're gonna get yourself like a rally's a really good bike. Like they're proper solid, like 100%. If you're gonna like even like for instance a Schwinn chopper, yeah. I noticed that someone posted up a picture the other day of the back of his Schwinn chopper, like it actually snapped, the frame had cracked, but that's because it was his fault. He'd been doing so many wheelies on this thing, yeah. But this is like what I'm about to explain. If you are getting a motorized bike here, don't be doing no wheelies on them. Seriously, like these little engines, yeah, they're only really, really sort of small, and they're not really that powerful. Okay, they're not really meant for that. Okay, but like for instance, if you want to get yourself like a decent frame, yeah, get yourself like a rally, get yourself a Claw Butler, get yourself like a Cannondale. Yeah, I mean, there's even a GT bike. GT bikes are wicked. They're proper robust bikes. Yeah, you can get these really cheap, or like a lot of other people might think about might be a bit of money. But instead of obviously like going out and thinking, "Oh, I've got to spend a ton of money now," save up for your bike. Just save up for it. Yeah, and literally, like I know you might be a bit anxious. You want to get out there and like obviously experience and whatever. Yeah, look, you can always do another thing. You can always like get yourself a cheap frame. Yeah, And then I mean, but look, don't get yourself like an Apollo. Yeah, Apollo is the same as a Carrera. They're rubbish. They're absolutely rubbish. Get yourself like a cheap-ish mountain bike. Yeah, break your engine in. Once your engine's broken in, yeah, that means that your engine's there ready and it's broken and ready to put onto your proper frame now. All right, so that's like initially like a good little thing. It's just sort of like an engine swap. Where you're swapping one engine from one bike to another bike. Yeah, but obviously like that's what I would definitely suggest if you really want to get a decent-ish sort of like bike frame, but you still want to go out like on the track or you want to go out on the road or whatever you want to do with these things. Yeah, get yourself a cheapish sort of bike, but make sure that you maintain it. You need to make sure that you do the brakes, yeah, you do the gears, you do everything, like even do the tires, even check the saddle. Like just don't go out with where your bike's going to be danger to you. You know what I mean? You can't. Like, seriously, I cannot stress how much you have to make these things safe. Because think about it, if you're putting an engine onto a bicycle, yeah, it's the practicality of it. Yeah, it might get you down the road a bit quicker, but trying to stop in time, yeah, you need to sort out your brakes a little bit more so you can get better brakes. Yeah, just for now, you don't have to go out and spend like get the top of the range stuff. Yeah, all like the proper decent like stuff. No, just like take your time with these things. Yeah, but get yourself a decent mountain bike frame. Seriously, yeah. Even for instance, with like my claw butlers, I had two claw butlers, the blue one and the silver one. Yeah, and them bike frames they lasted ages. Yeah, seriously, they lasted absolutely ages, and there was nothing even wrong with them. It's just that I wanted to upgrade to my BBR tuning frames. All right, but if you wanted to get a sort of built-in petrol like tank frame, you can get like a Skyhawk frame, or you can get a BBR tuning frame. You can get them from Bikeberry, or there's a few other places on the internet. So if you want to have a little look around, just look around, but don't obviously rush into anything. Yeah, if you see, say for instance, like a second-hand like place like Spock or Facebook Marketplace, yeah, or even Craigslist in America, or wherever you are, yeah, have a little look at these bikes. I'm pretty sure that there are some decent prices on there that you might be able to get one really cheap. I mean, for instance, I've seen one on the marketplace that if like I was going to build another little project, it's a Claude Butler, yeah, and do you know what? It's only £20. It's a decent bike, like, and the thing is, the guy only lives close to where I am now. So if I really wanted this bike, it's only like 20 minutes walk, and then I can go get this bike and then ride it back in about 5 minutes. So it's up to me. If I really wanted that bike, I'll pay £20. And do you know what? We're looking at it. It looks solid, yeah. It's got decent tires on it. It's got a decent set of gears on it. The brakes are decent on it. And I've even spoken to the guy as well, and he said, "Look, if you really want it, you can have it for a tenner." I mean, £10 for you can't even get them sort of deals. But that's why I say to you, shop around, yeah, look around in all these different places. But I wanted to bring out a little video to make sure, like, obviously everyone understands this, yeah. But don't get yourself a Carrera. They're awful. They are rubbish. Seriously, the cranks will always go on them. They will. Honestly, they're absolute rubbish. Yeah. An Apollo is another very cheaply, badly designed and made bike. Don't get any of them. So I would say, yeah, the main three that I would definitely stick to, yeah, is a Claw Butler for one. All right. You need a Cannondale for two. You can get yourself a Rally or get yourself even like a Schwinn chopper. Another guy I do speak to now and again, Michael Stevens on my Facebook here. What he's done is he's actually integrated an engine on a BMX frame. Now that's another thing you can do. BMXs are robust, like they're meant for stunts, they're meant for like sort of like everything. People take them up and down ramps, like do you know what I mean? So they're definitely like really cool, but you will have to do a lot of angle grinding, welding, and chopping to make sure that this engine will fit into this BMX thing. But you know what? It will last for ages. It really will. And I think it's a pretty cool design, to be fair. I've looked at his bike. It looks wicked. Seriously, even the sound of it, the exhaust is put, everything he's done on it is really cool. So yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I just wanted to bring out a little quick video just to make sure that people are aware of this, all right? But don't rush out and just get yourself any little bike frame and then just think, I'm just going to whack an engine on it and whatever. You need to make sure that it's going to be safe, all right? But do your research on to what bike you might even think is going to be pretty decent. Put it down in the comment section below, all right? And then what I'll be able to do is get back to you. And obviously, like, I've done my research before, all right? So I can get back to you and then I can tell you whether that bike frame is going to be any good or not. And if you want the dimensions of whether the engine is going to even fit on that frame, if you watch my original video, like back on my channel, yeah, about how to build a motorized bike. You see all the dimensions in there about what your actual like engine should be sitting onto what frame size. All right, so that's very important because you don't want to end up getting a frame and then like for instance there was another guy, yeah, that I really got into my videos as well. He said to me that he wanted me to build him a like the actual motorized bike, and because his frame, like, it wasn't a bad sort of frame, but it was a child's frame. Yeah, he wanted me to basically squeeze this engine into this thing, and you know what? I did, but the carburetor was all lopsided, and it didn't look good at all. Do you know what? It run, yeah, but it wasn't that great. I mean, I said to him, look, I can only do what I can do. Yeah, so literally I can't really do any more than that. But he was still quite happy with how I built it for him. And he was taking it to college and everything, and he really enjoyed it. But you know what? It was a learning curve for him. So now that he's like learned a little bit about it, he wanted to get a bigger, obviously bigger frame and like basically a better engine and a better chain. If you want to get yourself a better like motorized bike chain, get yourself the 415 heavy duty chain. It's not going to break. Seriously, these things are robust, the same as like a decent BMX. Like they are robust. They last for a very, very long time. And it's actually a proper motorbike chain. So, I mean, the ones that you get with the kit are actually alright, but they will snap. They will break. They will go rusty quick. But the 415, it don't. Alright? So, that's a few little tips I wanted to bring out to people. Alright? And I want everyone to have a lovely day and enjoy the rest of your Christmas. Alright? Take care and happy holidays to everyone.